This is Zeus, traveling in my new truck. Such a beautiful sight, and I'm behind a bus, and I passed up a bus. I was taking buses everywhere. I had some interesting things come into my field, and I like other people's opinions on it. You know, I've been going to ANA just for the fact that I know that there's people there that are wanting to live a better life. You know, wanting to change certain things about themselves. And one thing I learned from the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. He said any place that there is encumbering words that show a lack of power to be imposed upon the thought process of the individuals that are hearing, that you should not participate in these type of words, because there's so many different thoughts, right? And in Wallace Wattles' book, Science of Getting Rich, he's pretty specific, and I agree with him in the fact that he said, you know, that the world is not going to the devil, it's going to God. And God is not going to let anything happen that you personally don't choose to let happen in your own life. You know, and if you do read the last couple chapters in the book of Revelation, it does go on to show that heaven comes to earth. Now, at what level the individual wants to go downwards, they can turn around anytime they want, just in the understanding. And the thought process is everything. Okay. Now, what is it that I'm thinking about most of the time? Now, that is a statement that must be thought about, because only I am privy to the things that I think. Ain't nobody on this planet in control of what I think. I think what was that fellow's name? He was a POW, and that was the one thing he said, you know, in the essence of life, I came to a point where I just had to imagine my life better and just live that out in my mind, because the situations were so, should I say, unacceptable, that the only way I could put acceptable back into the thinking of my mind and my life, because remember, the universe doesn't care whether it's imagination or whether it is the reality that's around you. I just read that today in the book, Ask and Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham. And the interesting thing to this is the fact that, again, it's me, the thinker, that's the creator. And because I'm that powerful, and you didn't even know how powerful you were until you became understanding of the power that you were exerting over the reality that you live in, just by thinking, and then knowing, and then living and doing, then you become that which you think about most of the time. So, in question is, what am I thinking most of the time? Because again, I am the creator of my reality. Now, I do like how Wallace Wattles puts down that the kingdom of heaven is truly coming to earth. And it can come to earth. Dude, we have more than enough resources to make White Houses for every person on the planet and room enough to do it. You see, the only thing that's contrary to that is the, which I say, I'm better than you, you're better than me thought process. It doesn't, the competition, baby, it's not just me against you, it's me against me. Me against the version of me that I was 5 minutes ago in thinking. You know, how do you isolate that thought? Now, I tell you, I've tried it many ways. And sometimes I am fantastic with it. And I think in the book, Think and Grow Rich, it talks about it. The things that are easy are easy. The things that I don't really care much about, those are the easy ones. And that's the secret. You have to care, but not that much, about anything and anyone. You're not realizing the damage that was done to you as a child. And the damage was in the secular style of teaching when we were taught to be warriors and warehouse workers. Because that's what they needed in the World War II era, and they knew that they could train people to become that which they appeared to think they needed. But again, we don't know what we don't know, because was that even real? Because we create it every day we think about it. So the whole idea is to, again, reframe your mind into a point of thinking that would be beneficial to all, harming none. I have no idea why we have a red light here. I mean, it's a freeway. There shouldn't be a red light. There should be a circle right there. That'll be easy egress. Easy egress. That's what we need to do. We need to put circles through this whole city right here. Multiple. And it'll keep the speed down. So it's a limiting factor for speed, because people have to go around a circle. And then it also makes ease of traffic. No backup. Do you want backup? You know? Anyway, so yeah, circle here. I think the whole downtown should be circles, honestly. Indianapolis. I don't know about any place else, but it seems like it's more of an ease and flow. Restriction of large vehicles through any city streets. It's a no-brainer. They're too heavy. They break the concrete if the concrete hasn't been done properly. And the asphalt is what they put down. So you do have weight limits, and those weight limits are raising them a little by little, but you know, the only way to eliminate the traffic jams is to eliminate these lights. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Especially if like it's in the middle of the night and then those lights are still working. It just doesn't make sense, because number one, it's a tax on the electricity for the light. They say, well, we want that there anyway, or we want the power there so we can run our cameras, which would be a great thing. I mean, in Carmel they're doing this. Why? Because it's easy. And it doesn't cost as much to manage. Is there a lot of more fines? No. And that's a beautiful thing. Anything that's been made to cause more fines, it needs to be abolished, right? And the people that hear this, they can take action on this, because I'm just speaking this in the most loving way, because we all agree on this, I'm sure. Peace on earth. I mean, this bullshit about getting, I mean, I'm gonna talk it out. The sheriff gets paid millions of dollars for doing a job by incarcerating people, and he gets paid more money if he incarcerates more people. So in order to facilitate a society that is now living off of the proceeds of people being incarcerated, now it's something you got to look at that for a second. I mean, honestly, let's just look at it for a second and just think. Now we could also go to our pharmaceutical companies, okay? Now the pharmaceutical companies, they get paid more money the more people get sick, okay? So you got a $1 trillion industry that is basically getting paid more money as people get more sick, and they're run by a board of directors, and these board of directors get more money as people get more sick. And the fiduciary responsibility of this benefit, which is the pharmaceutical company, is they are to make the stockholders money. Okay? If they do not make the stockholders money, they can be thrown in jail. Interesting. So, for them to have more people getting sick is something that's more beneficial because, why? The stockholders make money. If you're a stockholder in any pharmaceutical company, you're going to look at that baby. And are you being a positive or are you being negative? Because I can tell you, if you've got negative inside your arena and you're making lots of millions of dollars, and you have to spend millions of dollars to make yourself better with the very products that are fiduciarily made to make people sicker so they can actually abide by another jab or whatever it may be. I mean, these are just the facts. I mean, you got to ask yourself a question: is that really something that I want for my brothers and sisters? Right? And you may say, well, they're this and they're that, it's all their choice, and I agree in some degree, but then again, you got to look at how they've been programmed. Okay? This is outside of the norm. Okay? We run on programs, okay, and there's a reason for it, because if they can set you up on a program to become a slave to make money, I guess why wouldn't they? And then all they have to do is keep you in fear, and then you're running on autopilot all the time because you're in a state of fear. I don't know what book this was that I was reading about that had these things in there, but now these projections, when a person is led to read these, of course it becomes a reality. Okay? Books are programs. If you read a book, it becomes a neural network inside your mind, in your body, and then when you're in a state of fear, baby, you are living this program. TV shows are programs. Been set up. It's all on the FBI stuff, you know, where they've declassified a lot of stuff. What they were designed to, on their flicker rate and stuff like that, is to actually captivate the mind and then bypass the subconscious, the conscious barrier, and go directly into the subconscious, which becomes an unwritten program. You know, that can be used for a benefit. That can be used for a benefit, to retrain all the people, you see. There's a benefit in med beds, copper sheets, living in frequency, right? Having a 528 hertz, 432 hertz, cascading you with love, right? Affirmations. MIT says that affirmations 3 times a day changes your DNA. Check out Billy Carson. A shout out to Billy Carson for being a woke ambassador of goodness. Let that shine. Sherry Oler, you can find her on Course in Miracles. Sherry Oler, Oracle. Shout out to Sherry, being an ambassador of love and peace. You see, we live in a world that is multidimensional. we fractionalize and we adjust our perception based upon the gratitude that we put forward and the information that goes into the neural network. Now, in the space and in the time where I find myself is the puzzle piece of putting together. And so I'm just sending this out there to myself because we are all pieces of the same self. All is one. Okay, so I, in perfect faith, believe that I am contacting every aspect of self. And that all we have to do, friends, is in the very essence of spaces and places where we know there's wrongdoing. Let's change it. Let's turn everything around. I mean, dude, peace on earth can be had right now, and we have more than enough for everything that we need for everybody. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but that makes me excited, dude. We have all the necessary components to make it real. To make it real. Heaven on earth, we have every aspect in every one of us. I bless you and I honor you. You are so cool because guess what? We can do this. Every one of us. I love you. 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 Oh my gosh, this is so great. Every one of us can do this, and it's going to be a message that goes to every one of us because I know I'm sending it out, baby. Blessings.